Hey, what's up, Ken? How you doing? I'm a few minutes late, by golly. I was talking to my wife about something, so I was a few minutes late. And I was actually working on a new background. Of course, if I room myself, you can see it. I did want to. How you doing today? Hey, Lucky Seven, how you doing? We missed you the last day or two. You been hiding out on us at that construction site? Data rate again tonight, Ken. And grapes. This is better than the coffee. How's the house coming, Lucky? Maybe I'll put the mic in front of me to help. Hello, Velvet. You snuck right in here, didn't you? How you doing? Oh, cool. Moving right along then. I'm eating grapes. Y'all can't hear me chewing these things. Okay, Velvet. I understand. Yeah, well, I spent the day looking at some campers online mostly. Everything's out of my price range still. But working on the computer and I'm finishing up that video. As you can see, excuse me, right, it's my nose. I got part one. I thought I was going to get the whole painting of the temple in the cliffs there on one video, but it turned out to be way bigger. I really, really thought that I was going to be able to make a small one. The sad part is I could have probably painted it if I wasn't doing a tutorial in half the time, but I just can't. I have to keep talking and keep telling people what I'm doing, so it takes more time. I don't know if y'all have watched it or not. I know Recon watched it already. It's a pretty simple one. Well, actually, it's not real simple, I guess. There was a lot more detail in it than I expected. When I looked at the picture, it was kind of quick, and I thought, this would be pretty quick, but it really wasn't. It wasn't that quick. If it was bigger, it probably would have been quicker because I did it so small, like a 9x12, it turned out to be a lot harder because you had to go to small detail brushes. Oh, you did see it, Lucky. Well, good. Great. Make sure you leave a comment. We need comments badly. We are actually almost to the point where I'll be able to get monetized, but I've already been kind of advised that I don't have enough comments. So I need to get people to start commenting, bad or good, whatever they want to put there. I need to get more comments. But really almost there. My granddaughters have been like working overtime with their friends, and I have been too, getting them hours up. We've accumulated a massive amount of hours in the last week or so, probably a little bit more than that. You won't be long tonight. Well, that's not very nice. I'll probably have part 2 to that video up tomorrow at some point. I think part 2 is gonna end up being a little bit longer than part 1. I think part 1's about 45 minutes, and that was stretching it. I've been trying to keep them about a half an hour apiece, but I kinda overguessed the amount of space I had on those particular videos put together, or I just added them up wrong, rather. Probably should have done it in 3 videos. But even that video took me probably 5 hours to upload. It's ridiculous with this AT&T. I've had them take 14 hours before. Unreal. So what are you doing tonight, Velvet? That's so important. Yeah, we were talking about that last night, Lucky. Very lucky. That's the one I want to hit. That's the one I need to hit. It'd solve a lot of problems if I hit that one. I just pay this place off, and I can still buy another place besides this place. Get some more help in here and stuff. Excuse me. Because even though you won't get the whole thing, it'll still be enough to do a lot with. Well, they got them big prizes out there. Somebody's got to win them. The only thing I get mad about is Florida lottery is crooked. They'll show a ticket down and still have 2 or 3 major top prizes still that were supposed to be available. They'll shut them down early and not put them out. And I think that's wrong. There should be a law that makes them put them top prizes out before they shut the ticket down. Because that's not fair. I think it's cheating the general public. Those prizes should be put out. That's not bad, Ken. Made a little profit anyway. That's my favorite crosswords too, because they take a lot longer to play, and you feel like you get your money's worth anyway. Excuse me. Even if you lose, you at least feel like you got some enjoyment out of it. I think, well, Velvet likes crosswords too. So do I. I know a lot of people don't like them, but because they take so long. But that's the whole idea. That or even bingo. I mean, I don't especially like bingo, but I do because they do take longer. I just don't like to scratch a ticket that you can find out whether you're a winner, in 15 seconds. I'll just do one letter at a time on a crossword. Velvet, she don't. She just kind of reads each word for the letters, and she don't scratch them unless she wins. Then she'll scratch it. Weird, huh? Watching AR Platinum lately, and AR Platinum, he just gets that big jumbo crossword. He scratches all the ones that don't win. Then he leaves the ones that do win empty. Did you guys like that nice picture of sunny Florida with the easel in the sand there for the thumbnail? That's what I was doing before y'all came on. I was working on that particular one. Y'all aren't talking. I don't know if y'all are not hearing me or what, but I feel like I'm the only one that's talking here. Oh, you don't buy crosswords? What do you, is it somebody gives you one or something to do? Or you just happen to buy one? Excuse me. You know, I like the scratching myself, but to be honest with you, when I'm watching them online, I don't like to watch people scratch them because of the amount of time it takes. But there's a few out there that do pretty good. They're pretty quick. Oh yeah, they didn't steal you wrong. You won $30. As the people that play will tell you, probably if you just get one, that's why. You usually have to get like 5 at a time. It also helps if you know the store clerk, because they can tell you whether it's been a big hit or not. Ask them. A lot of them will tell you. Now, Recon's phone must be dead tonight again, because she ain't here again. Yeah, the paint today, I'm glad you liked it, Lucky. I was worried about that because it looks really more like a watercolor, but it's still an acrylic. And I've done that before on purpose, because the original one I saw of that, of course, I changed some things in it a little bit. I didn't want it to be the same, but the original was done in watercolor. So I said, I can make it look like a watercolor using acrylics. So basically, that's what I did. Did you leave already, Velvet? May have. It's only showing 3 on. That's this old goofy YouTube not working right again. It's amazing. Some people lucky that and can. Some people that never really play at all as far as the scratch offs, and they'll on a whim buy one. And a lot of times, those are the ones that hit the big ones. I know people that do them all the time. Even the people you see on the channels not hitting really big ones, somebody that never does it just gets lucky and they're at the right place at the right time. They hit the $1 million or whatever. Yeah. Well, you can know how to paint, Ken. I know a place where you can watch tutorials and you can buy some paints pretty inexpensively to get started with. I mean, you can start with acrylic and buy some pretty cheap paint and start with acrylic. Because I have enough tutorials up for acrylic that you could do those very easily and buy some a pad of the media paper we talked about. So have to figure out a little budget and then go with it. You don't have to have all of the paintbrushes that I show. I've been doing it for so many years. I have well over 100 paintbrushes, at least, probably more. And I've given away a lot to grandkids and my son and other people. You know, lots of them I've given away, but I still have a ton of them. Way more than I really need. A lot of paintings I could probably do with just a couple of paintbrushes, 2 or 3. May take me a little bit longer or whatever, but I mean, you could do them. I know artists that have spent hundreds of dollars on paintbrushes, all the different kinds and the different fancy ones and whatever, and many years later, they find out, excuse me, that they're using like 4 paintbrushes because they've gained enough experience and confidence that they know what they can do with them brushes, and they just grab one of them and paint with it. Because you can get some pretty inexpensive acrylic paint, the smaller tubes. You start with at Walmart for like $6 or $7 or something like that, if that, I think. Then the paper, you can get that there too. You can use that heavy bond paper I was telling you about to practice with. Get a couple of different brushes, a few different brushes. Something to put some water in to wash the brushes out with and whatnot. You don't need an easel. You can paint right on the table. Put some newspaper under it, or paper towel, paint right on the table. And I prefer doing that with acrylic. Oh, really? Great, Lucky. Love to see it. He probably painted better than I do. Wouldn't surprise me. Recon, you're late again. And you know what that means. Ching ching. Well, you're gonna want at least a flat brush, with a square end. At least that, and you're also gonna want at least a liner brush too, one of the pointed ones, because you want that for real fine detail stuff. I mean, you could pretty much do a lot with that. I mean, you could use a fan brush too, but you can buy it's cheaper to buy a whole set of like 8 or 10 of them. You can get a whole set that's not bad quality at all for probably $6 or $7, $8 or something like that. But you're better off to go to like Michael's or Hobby Lobby to get them. But I don't know if Walmart has any brushes that are good enough quality. You don't want to get anything that's really cheap and real feathery. You want them to be fairly firm and but still soft, and they'll work just fine. I figured your phone went dead again, Recon. Since your father went to the Art Institute, Lucky, he probably could have taught me some things. I love to pick other artists' brains and learn from other artists too. everybody has their own technique, and you can learn things from other people's technique. Velvet was here too, Recon, but I got a feeling she left already. She warned us that she was going to leave pretty soon. She didn't stay on very long. I mean, she might still be listening. I don't know, but she didn't say goodbye yet. I knew her Wi-Fi was bad. No fun. I mean, no problem. Have fun. No fun. Have fun. That's a good hobby, Lucky. My father messed with um, blowing glass and stuff when I was a lot younger, doing the figurine stuff and all that kind of stuff like that. After he burnt himself a few times, he finally gave up on it. Oh, you have your own internet, a Linux server or something, Ken? I used to rent a box many years ago for Quake servers. No. Contrary to popular belief, house painting and painting pictures are totally different. They're not the same thing at all. To me, house painting is boring. You're painting with one color, basically. But I have painted some walls in a house, like a mural, like 3 different walls. Because my father had this my father was an HO train hobbyist most of his life. So when he bought this big giant building for his train layout, I went in and I painted all the walls for him, the skies, the mountains and trees and clouds and all that stuff. So I did all the scenery for him. And there was another group home that we were trying to help out once. My father was when he was still alive, and I did too. They it was a really big place, and the state was about to shut them down because it was an old motel and it needed some repairs done. So people chipped in to help them fix it up, basically. And some of the rooms, there was 3 or 4 of the client bedrooms that had no windows at all. They just had a door going in. So to brighten things up, they ripped out the walls in there and was putting in sheetrock. So what I did was I took the size of some windows, like I don't know, 40 by 40 or something like that, or 38 by 40, or whatever size the window was. And I painted scenery on each of the windows, just like if you was looking outside, 3-dimensional grass outside with some trees and stuff like that and whatever. Maybe a little brook or something, just different things on different ones. And I think I did about 6 of those panels. So what they did was when they did the sheetrock, they just made an opening to where those went. And then they put them in after they painted the walls. And then they just framed them in like a regular window frame and put curtains up, just like you would in a room. And it made it look like people could see outside, and gave the client something to look at, even though they couldn't go out. It wasn't a real window, but it was realistic enough that it gave it some scenery in the room. Yeah, it gave them some colors, different colors to look at. It made them feel like they could see outside, basically, even though they couldn't really. But it's still, it opens the room up more when you look. You can see outside. I gotta tell you, it took a lot of paint to do them, though. Those are some big panels. I think they took me about a week to do them. So I had to draw them out and plan them out and all that stuff. You get rough sketches on them, really, nothing real detailed. Now, lucky I have painted many of rooms in houses. It's not the same, but I have painted many rooms with just plain paint, whatever, and outside of a house. And I don't know if you saw the pictures of this house or not, but it's huge. It's been painted several times, at least. I figured you was just listening like you said you were, Recon. Your stock ain't coming out tonight either. It's been, 3 days now? Painting can be therapeutic to anyone, can, actually. There's the wall in our house here. I thought about if it ever got changed. We had wallpaper on it now, but if we ever wanted to get it off there, I would think seriously about painting it and paint a scene on the whole wall. think it might be kinda neat if I had a house, just paint some paintings on the wall, then just frame them in on the wall. Then nobody can steal your paintings. Problem solved. Wow, that's just way too much painting. Not to mention the buildup of paint would have been enormous because it's not really waiting. I was eating some grapes. I'm done now. I told you all that before. I was worried about you guys hearing me crunching on them. Having grapes and Gatorade. Thought I'd have something good for me for a change again. Out of coffee again. Although I had a cup just before I got on live. The video's not looking too bad tonight. I must not be lagging as bad as normal. Hmm. Could be better. But it could be a lot worse too. If I'd had some coffee, I'd have been having some coffee and donuts. Because I got a dozen from Dunkin' Donuts last night. But we've ate most of them anyway. Maybe you get lucky Monday, Recon, and get your new phone. That's what I have is seedless grapes. I don't want to deal with the seeds. If we have grapes, I just bought some the other day, and if we have them, I like them for a snack. If I'm watching YouTube or something or whatever at the table, let's snack on some grapes. Better than having a candy bar or whatever. Or better for you. Yeah, hopefully you'll get it, Recon. Get it charged up. Get it going. Itching like crazy tonight. Cold weather. It was down to 48 last night again. And today never went past, I think, about 54, 56, something like that. It never warmed up much. I hope it warms up more tomorrow. In fact, I think I'll look and see what it's supposed to be tomorrow. Tomorrow. Well, 54 tonight. Well, Monday's gonna go back up to 70. Well, that's better. And 55 tomorrow night. Oh, look at that. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, up in the 80s. That's going to get as high as 87 Thursday. Then the following Monday is going to 77. Tuesday back up to 81. Wednesday 82. Be 70s and 80s all that following week. That's good. I'm getting tired of this cold weather. I don't look forward to the real hot weather. No, I don't have any of them here, Ken. We've tried to plant some, but the sand that's here just wouldn't accommodate them very well at all. We bought, I think we planted apple trees a couple of times and peach trees, orange trees. None of them in this area here. They just didn't live. And then we had a problem with deer because we actually have in the morning and at night in our backyard, just a little ways down, there's like a deer trail toward the end of our property. And they go through every day, every morning and every night. And they have, at least 7 or 8 deer we'll see every day. Sometimes a couple more. And in fact, we've actually watched a doe give birth in our backyard before. But of course, we never bother them, so they seem to know we're friendly. So they'll eat the grass and they'll dig up acorns and whatever. And we just sit there and watch them. I've had a couple of the smaller ones, the fawns, when they're growing up, come pretty close to me. We definitely wanted some. Lucky, my wife wanted some too, and we've tried it a number of times. She's fertilized them and everything, and she's got a green thumb. She can grow flowers like you wouldn't believe and stuff. But even she couldn't get them to grow. And the ones that did start growing pretty good, like I said, the deers got to them. They just chewed the leaves right off them and everything. You have a GRE. What's that? I'm assuming you mistyped something. Or greenhouse, yeah. Yeah, my wife has had 2 greenhouses, but we don't anymore. The last one, she just got too busy to tend to it, so I think she gave it to one of my daughters. It wasn't nothing fancy, just a real small one where she would start her plants down there and whatever. And then when it got cold, she put them in the greenhouse. Then we did have some kind of a fruit tree here once for a while. You used to get a lot of fruit on it too. I can't remember what the heck they call them. Little orange, round, look like golf balls on them. I can't remember what they were called now. Some like them and some don't. Some of these southern people really like them. They'd actually, I let them come get baskets full of them. They'd boil them up and freeze them. Kumquats. That's what they were. Kumquats. We had a kumquat tree. Then all of a sudden, one day, one year, it just died. and it was actually very healthy before that. And all of a sudden, for some reason, it just died. I don't know what killed it. Yeah, we definitely get a lot of birds here in Florida, especially when migrating time and whatever. They go flying by, and we get tons of them. We actually have 3 hawks that live here in our backyard. We have 3 acres of land here, but they actually live in our backyard. There was actually a mother and then 2 babies. Now they're all grown up now though, but they've been there for years. At one time, I think it was over 20 years ago, we had an eagle that lived up in the top of a tree and had a baby. And so you can see that big eagle flying around fairly often. And for some reason, they just up and left one day, but they were there for a long, long time. I don't know if they just got where they weren't finding enough food or what. But they were damn big eagles, bald eagles. Of course, we had a big pond down back, a lot of fish. I'm sure that probably helped keep them fed. Plenty of snakes around to eat for them and whatever. Mice, rats. There's fields down there, so fields beside our property. So there's plenty of game for an eagle. Rabbits. I have no idea what that would be, Ken. I know they grow bell peppers, green peppers. I don't know what the fruit would be. Doesn't ring a bell to me. There's plenty of fruit trees here with the lemons and oranges and mandarins, tangelos, but like I said, most of them are further south than from where I live. And they got peach trees, plum trees. There's quite a few fruit trees that are around. Fig trees, but there's not that many as far as the commercial part goes in the area that I live in. It's like probably it's really not that much further south. It's probably maybe 40 miles south, 50 miles south or so, maybe a little more. That's when you'll start seeing off the main highways there. You'll start seeing the big old orange orchards for miles. I mean, there'll be tons of oranges, when they're in season, tons of them. They'll even sell them from the orchards. They'll have a little shed out in front of the road there, where people can stop and buy them if they want. They do have some of them that'll actually pick your own. They'll give you a stick with whatever to pluck them out of the trees, and you can pick your own oranges. In fact, a couple towns over there have blueberries too. So go pick your own blueberries. I've made a few bird boxes, I guess you call them, Lucky 7 for my wife, but it's been a while. Haven't made any in quite a while. I was busy enough making Adirondack chairs for outside and loungers and little end tables and all that stuff. I think the bird boxes were easier, less time consuming, and definitely a lot cheaper. And I made her trellises. I think I made her 1, 2, 3 trellises, pretty good sized ones. And then I had to make one for my mother on top of that. Recon, how did you like that nice, pretty graphic I put up for the notice this time of the picture of Florida there and stuff? No. It's really funny that it's amazing that everybody that comes to Florida, when they see what it really looks like down here a lot, they look so disappointed because they're so used to seeing them sunny beach scenes with the palm trees and all that stuff. And they come into Florida, especially in the northern Florida. I live more in northern Florida, central Florida, northern, upper, it's still considered northern Florida. And they get so disappointed because it looks nothing like any of the pictures they've ever seen. I've literally had people that just got here ask me, they're looking everywhere and they're going, well, where's all the orange trees? And I have to tell them, there are none. And they look like they're crushed. They've picked up and they moved to Florida, and there's no orange trees for them to see. Granted, there is a few in some people's backyards and whatever, but they're not really that obvious. But they look so crushed. Like, if you want to see that beach picture that you saw, you gotta head for the coast. And then you'll see some beaches, all the beaches you want to see. No, I live in northern Florida, not South Florida. South Florida, yeah, there's beaches, but I mean they've got those beaches. They're all, you can go 100 miles in East Coast or West Coast from wherever you are, basically almost, and you should be able to hit a beach. No problem, Recon. Like me, we're more toward the West Coast but I can go to Daytona, which is the East Coast, and it's only like 100 miles, 120 miles away. It's not that far. And right there in Daytona, you got Crescent Beach, rather, and there's quite a few. There's a lot. I mean, it's all beaches. There's different names. You just go down the coast of Florida on A1A on the East Coast, and there's just one beach after another. And A1A, is right on the very edge of Florida. Yeah, Cocoa, New Smyrna, Boca Raton, Titusville, all the way up through. I mean, they're just one beach after another. Well, I never heard of it, Ken. I'll have to look it up. Welcome back, Recon. See, the thing is Florida is really flat. It's really flat down here. You know, it's when you're from up north and you come to Florida, it's a bit shocking because you can see for miles. A lot of times, you can just see for miles because it's so flat. Granted, you know, there's still a lot of trees and stuff in the country areas. You know, there's still a lot of trees that way and whatever, but there's no big mountains. You know, a mountain here is what you guys know is a hill. That's a mountain for these guys, and they're not very big either. So people get a bit surprised when they come here because it's not. It is a tourist place, but a lot of Florida is not based on tourism. Where I live, there's nothing that's tourism all around here. You know, Cedar Key is a little bit tourist, but it's not really. It's one of the oldest cities in the country. It's got a heck of a history because Rosewood's down there from the movie Rosewood. You know, all that's down there and all that stuff. But it's a nice place to visit. That's about it. That's a fact. There's a few of them around here that are dumber than a box of rocks. Without a doubt. But things are getting better, I mean, of course, I see some because I live out in the country. There's some people here that they're not too bright. They're not the brightest bulb in the pack. But there is a college town. Well, Newberry's 5 miles from me. Then it's another 15, 17 miles to Gainesville. Gainesville is the University of Florida. So you got hundreds of thousands of students in that one big city. And most of them, they're not all from here. Most of them probably are from out of state. Florida. I call it Florida. Yeah, that's a fact. There's some pretty dumb ones everywhere. Doesn't matter where you are. You're probably right. I probably am one of them dumb people. Because I never graduated high school. I quit school in the 10th grade. I'm self-educated. Now, I did get my GED eventually. I did do a little bit of college, but I actually was a computer tech for quite a few years. When the computers first came out, all the way up through probably the first Pentiums, I was a computer tech. And I probably have about 30 certifications in the computer field. And I also taught myself database programming. And I've written even software that has like 20 something modules in it for the group homes to help the group homes with their paperwork. Mostly just the ones in this area got it, and I actually sold it to the group homes. That's back when Bush was in the when it was the governor, and we were making more money. They could afford to actually pay for some software. I didn't make a lot of money, but I think I made probably, I don't know, $3,000 or $4,000 on it. Yeah, I mean, you are what you make yourself. I I hated to read a lot when I was younger. Although that's not true. I did like to read some things. I always really enjoyed history books, like biographies, Lincoln, the Civil War, stuff like that, different history stuff. I got into reading some mystery stuff for a while, maybe a little bit of course, when I was real young, the Hardy Boys and all that stuff. I read the whole series. And other than that, I didn't read a whole lot. Science I liked, but I hated the science teacher. He was a jackass. And the history teacher was a jackass. In fact, later on, not too many years ago, the history teacher, who was a real jerk to people, I know he was to me, he went to prison for murdering his wife because he was that kind of a prick. And he was one of these real rugged guys, worked out every day like Hulk Hogan, and all that stuff. Yeah, those are good toys, without a doubt. But I quit school when I was 17 and went into service. And I was in the Vietnam War. I was in the Navy on a minesweeper. And when I got out, that's when I decided, well, I guess I better at least get my GED. And frankly, I really wasn't that sure on credits, really. I was going to try to go back to school, but I was just a little bit too old. I just didn't make sense. So I just went to the library, and my weak subjects were math and English. I was horrible with English, not that great with math. And so I just went and got books from the library and started reading them and studying them and government. I did a lot of reading on government, stuff like that, and went down and passed the test with a decent score. My son, the one that has been going through the open heart surgery and all that stuff, his ex-father-in-law, um, used to own the John dealership here locally. Well, he's since retired, and he actually passed away a couple years ago, but hell of a nice guy. But um, yeah, he was a very well respected person. He was also the chairman of one of the banks and all that stuff too, of the board of directors or whatever. He had plenty of money. Yeah, I get really kind of pissy at people in Walmart, even though I know it's not the people at the door's fault that's doing what they're told, but when they want to take and look through my purchases and take my receipt and all that crap and waste my time after I just came through a register, it really does piss me off. It annoys me because legally, you're searching stuff through my things that I own, I paid for, and that's been fought. This Walmart here actually finally slackened off that a lot. Most of the time, they don't do it anymore because they got sued by somebody because it's an invasion of privacy. You are it's not legal for somebody to go through your personal belongings without your consent. And I guess they did get sued and they lost. I guess they were searching the wrong person's stuff that actually had enough money to get a real lawyer and sue him. I got my cousin up in New York. Her husband, he's a retired engineer from a train, one of the trains up there. He had to buy him a John Deere lawnmower, riding mower. Now they got a pretty good piece of property, maybe 3/4 of an acre or whatever, but big old house. That guy, he's so proud. He loves that damn John Deere tractor. He looks for an excuse just to get on it and to ride around on it. Excuse me. You get a bunch of attachments for it and all that crap too. And they're expensive. I know the John Deere tractors are not cheap. If you're talking about a riding mower, I don't really care for Craftsman much because they usually have the Tecumseh engine, and the Tecumseh engines is very finicky sometimes. They've got to be set perfect as far as the ignition goes and all that stuff. As a Briggs & Stratton, you can run the hell out of them. They can be half falling apart and they'll still run. Yeah, some of them places they do kind of look suspicious to you. You know, if they think you look suspicious, they'll watch you and follow you and everything else. Yeah, I've always liked Briggs & Stratton. I like Kohler too, but well, guys, I think we'll go ahead and just call it a night. It's been well over an hour, hour and 10 minutes, whatever. I've got to get up really early in the morning with the clients, so I think we're going to call it a night. I have to be up by like 5:30, 6 o'clock, so I think we'll just hang it up for the night. And appreciate you all coming, without a doubt. And we'll see you all tomorrow night. Have a good night and stay healthy and fit and take care of yourself. Yeah, I've done the same thing, Recon, without a doubt. They took me off. Anyway, Ken, I assume you're still around here somewhere. Yeah, you're here. So you have a good night, Ken, Recon, Lucky. I think that's all of us that's on. So take care of yourselves and we'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye now.